In today's video, I'm sharing some autumnal house witchery and crafting, as well as unpacking updates since our house move, plus some spiritual gifts. So if you'd like to see how I've been working some new home magic, just keep on watching. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope that you're well. So today is so casual. I am literally holding my phone and I'll probably look in the wrong place at times. I'm not used to sort of filming on my phone particularly, but my cameras are still packed away. I have not unboxed them yet, but I know where they are, I think. So we've been living in this house now for 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. We moved in on the 24th, I think, of September. And last week I lost my voice. So the kids brought home a wonderful bug from school and I completely lost my voice, and there were some videos that I wanted to start filming and stuff, but I just couldn't because I was literally like, ah! Everyone kept asking me if I was okay when I was on the school run. It was quite funny. And I did feel really rough actually. We were taking COVID tests every day, hubby and I. That's just the cat, she's playing with the box. We were taking COVID tests every day, and we did test our son as well, and we didn't test our daughter because I think that would have been really traumatic for her, and she's a very sensitive soul. But none of us had COVID. We kept testing, but the kids did have temperatures, so I had to keep them off. It was quite intense, and just last week was when I was really ill. The week before that was when the kids were off. That's right. It's all just been a bit of a whirlwind, a bit of a blur. This house is just amazing. I just love it so much because it is a new build, so you can see everything is like really beautifully done. But we are not organized at all. So there are boxes everywhere. And I really wanted to just come on to share some things that I've been thinking about with you. I wanted to share some crafts and some things that I have got with me and just want to chat about really. So I will show you a little bit around the house as we go. So I'm just coming up the stairs now, and here is a spectacular pile of books. And here is what I have already put on the bookshelf. And there are tarot decks, some in there, and then there's lots of other suitcases with them in. I thought that I'd be really motivated to put these books back onto the shelf if I just got them out of the box that they were in, but that didn't work because these have been here now for a good few days and I have not put them on the shelf yet. Such is the way of life. This is the spare room, so it's okay, you know, we don't actually have to worry so much because this is the room where we're unpacking everything. You know, all the other rooms, we've got what we need in them so far, so that's good. But I do just think it's going to be a process, you know, unpacking and being okay with it taking a little bit of time. And you'd think that you'd get used to it after moving a couple of times, but no, it's always a shock, I think, to the system. But yeah, I'm just allowing myself to go with it and not to pressurize myself too much with what I've got to do. So I've been wanting to share this with you for a couple of weeks now. This is an autumnal wreath that I made myself with some friends. We all made our own wreaths. We actually all had very different wreaths in the end. It was lovely. We basically gathered some bits together. So I had some herbs and things that I foraged from our old garden. Here it's like all the fluffy, wild looking stuff basically came from my garden, and all the herbs that are incorporated, as well as some of the lavender. And then a friend of mine had some lavender in her garden as well, so she picked up some of that for us too. Another friend found that one of the supermarkets near us was selling these beautiful bouquets of dried flowers, and they had different themes and different colours, and so I wanted sort of a very white, very pale, kind of neutral toned bouquet, and that's what these elements came from, the pods and the seeds. I also used some sort of pampas grass that you can see throughout as well, and it just turned out so beautifully. I was so thrilled with it because it was really wild, kind of woolly, and my other friends, they made very different ones. I had a friend who did one that was sort of more pink. It had a kind of late summer feel to it. Another friend chose to do sort of very autumnal golds and oranges, and it was just spectacular. And some of these were sort of strewn throughout, and they were just so beautiful, and we all had our own unique way of working, which was so lovely to do because we were all working together. And I kind of like that mine was sort of a little bit wild and woolly. And oh, the cat's at the door. Hello. So what I've done is I've literally picked up these wreath hanging bar things, and I've got a wreath that I picked up from Amazon on the front door, which is a faux wreath that was just an experiment really. And this one's inside because it's all dried florals and I want to be able to keep it and keep it nice. It is shedding just a little bit because of the sort of fluffies and such and some of the seeds and things, but it's holding up really, really beautifully. And I just love how wild and witchy it is. It just feels very much like my aesthetic. So I was so, so proud of it. I'm so, so thrilled to share it with you. And I've wanted to share it for several weeks now. It's just that with the move and losing my voice, it was something that has taken me a really, really long time to kind of manage to do. And actually I think it looks much better now. It's like hanging up and you can actually see it in its wild chaoticness that very much I think reflects me and my spirit. So that is my autumnal seasonal wreath that I wanted to share with you. I hope that you like it. So this is a little DIY that I wanted to share with you, and it's not really a DIY, it's not strictly just a DIY, because this is actually a sign that is a tin sign. You can see it's made of tin, that came from Amazon, but when I received it, I realized it was actually really poorly made. So this pattern was underneath it, but it was printed out onto the tin in a really, really pixelated way. And I didn't want it to look like it had been printed really badly. So I decided to just go ahead and paint over it. And I thought, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's wild and edgy and, you know, that it's got the texture to it. I wanted it to look rustic, like someone had actually handmade it. And I think I've achieved that because you can literally see the lines and it literally looks like a human being has painted it, which I absolutely love. And so from afar, you'll have to forgive me because I've not actually finished styling up this area, so it's actually quite sparse, but this is where I have it at the moment in the kitchen and I just love it. I actually prefer it so much more this way, and it was about £7 on Amazon, you know, just one of those cheap fall signs, but I'm just thrilled with it, having spent just a couple of hours using some acrylic paints going over it. I will also put a little picture on the side so you can see what it was like before to compare the two. I just am so much happier with it. It's got more dimension to it as well. It actually looks handmade. It looks like something, you know, you might see at a farm someone has made. So I'm just thrilled with it. I really, really like it. And yeah, I just thought I'd share it with you because it felt quite witchy as I was doing it, and it felt a little bit like I was performing some kind of like nesting ritual at home, even though it was for this sign and it was just a DIY. It was very kind of imbued with magical intent. I think when you're painting, it is really creative and beautiful. It's something that I love to do and it's something I don't do enough of. But I think the natural witch in me does just come out, and having studied art all the way through up to A-level and almost going to art school, it's something that's deeply embedded in me, and it's been a way that I've actually practiced magic all through my life, you know, very early on, quite unintentionally, but it's always been a part of my life. And so having completed this project, it was funny because I had boxes to unpack, boxes of these beautiful books, these cookbooks that I wanted to unpack, and my magic books and my tarot decks, etc. And I still have lots of boxes to unpack, but this was calling to me and I just needed to sit down and do this. And you can probably tell my voice is still really husky. I've had this bug that the kids brought home. It's been a really chaotic few weeks and lost my voice, and I just felt nurtured by doing this, performing this act, this ritual of painting over this really quite poor quality sign that I just picked up really cheaply from Amazon to get a kind of fall feel around here, and it turned into something really, really beautiful, and I'm thrilled with it. So it's making it really kind of fall, autumnally, home harvest feeling around here. So I have lots and lots of pumpkins in and around the house, but I haven't decided where to put them properly yet because we still are unpacking. So it's not exactly decorated as I would like it for fall, but next year I will really be where I want to be, I think, with it. But I'm still thrilled with this, and I wanted to share it because I do think that if you pick up something that, you know, you're disappointed with the quality of, if it's a sign or something like this, you can just have a go at pimping it yourself and making it a little bit more premium and luxurious and a little bit more you know. I feel like this reflects me, it feels like something. Even though obviously I didn't draw these from scratch, I painted over them. I added lots of dimension and added lots of other colors to it, and it was already there, so I didn't have to reinvent the wheel and draw it all from scratch. So it was nice that it was kind of a process that was very easy to do, and it didn't require much thought. I just had to sort of stay within the lines, and then with the leaves and the pumpkins, that's where I really got to kind of be a little bit more creative and actually use some of the painting skills that I acquired a long time ago. But I just love that it looks kind of rustic and wild and handmade. That's just exactly how I wanted it, so I'm thrilled with it. So have a go. If there's anything that you pick up like this that you're not so impressed with the quality of, why not just give it a paint yourself and have a go at pimping it up, because I could not be more happy with it. Just wanted to share that with you as well. So I have something else as well here that I've wanted to share with you for over a week now, or a week. My brain is just fried. About a week. But because my voice was just gone last week, I just couldn't be heard, basically. So I have waited till this week, but I really wanted to share it. I was so excited about it. So I received this parcel from Manuela at Place of Stillness, who was kind enough to contact me and ask me if she could send me some gifts, and there were things that Manuela felt that she may not wish to keep any longer, and also just some other little bits that she made, etc. And so I said, absolutely, oh my goodness, that's so kind. And then I was moving, so we managed to liaise with my new address, and I was so overwhelmed when it arrived. I was just so in awe of what was included. So I'll show you. First of all, there's a little letter here, which is some like gold paint on it, which is so beautiful. And I won't read the letter, but it is lovely, and Manuela is so lovely. Of course, I will link Manuela's channel below, Place of Stillness, which is a wonderful place for resources around tarot and magic and astrology as well. Manuela is just a wealth of knowledge and inspiration, and I just love the way that she thinks and ponders around the tarot. Actually, Manuela recently uploaded a video with some of the most common spreads that she uses, and they were just fantastic and so inspiring. So I will link that video as well below, but her entire channel is fantastic, so I recommend that you go over and watch her and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But I want to share with you what Manuela sent, because there was a lot of thought behind this, which I was just so overwhelmed by, to be honest. So first of all, some dragon's blood incense, which I cracked into actually because I hadn't unpacked my own incense by the time this arrived. So I cracked into this, and I've used this a few nights actually, and it's just been beautiful. This is a really lovely dragon's blood by Satya, and this was sort of a nod to working with Morrigan, which some of you may know that I do. And then so these CDs are essentially Gaelic prayers, and they are from a tradition called the Cele Day. I think I've said that correctly. Cele Day, Celtic Irish tradition, and these beautiful prayers. And there's a couple of CDs here. So I believe that Manuela actually took a course or a couple of courses with this tradition, and I will link the website as well below. I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet. I've had a quick look at the website, so I was really intrigued by it. But essentially these are different meditations. This is a marriage of heaven and earth. This is sacred chants of the Cele Day. You can see there's the Owen there as well alongside there. Sacred chants of the Cele Day and praying with the Per Deen. So I think I'll start with this. This looks like the beginning, but I'm not sure. I haven't, as I said, haven't cracked into these yet, but I'm so excited to. And then along a similar line, John O'Donoghue, who is the author of the best-selling Anamkara, which I have not read, which I've heard about and I've not read, but I think I will read this first since I was gifted this. This is Eternal Echoes, Celtic Reflections on Our Yearning to Belong, and it just sounds so beautiful. But I would definitely love to read the Anamkara eventually. But on the back here, you can see, while we are here, where is it that we are absent from? This is a question that echoes in the heart of all longing. So it's this beautiful discovery, this beautiful kind of delve into the divine and the human heart, as it says here. It's so intriguing. You know, I have not really any idea what to expect other than it just sounds incredible. Celtic Reflections on Our Yearning to Belong. It sounds so beautiful, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this and treasure it as well, because it came from Manuela and it's just so kind and generous. And then down here as well, we've got some more little pamphlets that go with the CDs. So in here it explains a little bit about the tradition and the Irish, the old Irish here. So it says Fionn is a Gaelic word. I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right. I always have to check my pronunciations of everything. But I'm just so intrigued by this. I'm so intrigued because I think this is an area that I could really like deepen my practice with Morrigan if I was more able to translate and read Irish. I'm not learning Irish or anything, and that probably could really help me in the future. But at the moment I'm not, but this might just help me start me off in the right direction so that I am pronouncing things correctly. And also there's just the devotional aspect of it as well, you know, that Irish Celtic devotional. And then we have this beautiful beeswax, which smells incredible. And I think that Manuela made these. I'm pretty sure she did. It just smells beautiful. I wish she had smell-o-vision or something. It's just stunning and so thoughtful and lovely. And then in this lovely vintage tin, we have this beautiful Madonna and Child. It's just stunning. As well, the scent, it smells so beautiful. It's got like a holy scent to it, you know. And so here is an example of one of the rosaries. So there are 2 rosaries here, which Manuela was also so generous and kind to send me. And I'm just so fascinated. And I think this is a hag stone. I have like a hag shell stone, but yeah, this is pretty special. The beautiful shell, stunning. And lastly, Manuela included this, which is Ceylon and Lucuma. I can't pronounce, but it's essentially a Ceylon, cinnamon and Lucuma turmeric latte. So I love cinnamon, I love Lucuma. I used to have some Lucuma actually, but it's very expensive and I don't have any anymore. And a turmeric latte. And I used to make turmeric lattes myself with oat milk and maple syrup and some turmeric, but it would be so hard to get the balance right. And when I saw this, I was just absolutely thrilled because I just thought how incredible to already have a mix. And Manuela explained that, you know, it doesn't already have sugar in it, so you know it's vegan and sugar-free and you just add the sugar as you wish. So it's kind of a superfood because lucuma is a superfood, turmeric is so good for you, as is cinnamon. And also, you know, I'm thinking some intentions can be set with this beautiful drink. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna look into some of the magical properties of lucuma because I'm not so knowledgeable about those, but definitely the cinnamon and the turmeric, really grounding and really warming, but also stoking the fires within, as it were. So I think really good for root chakra, as well as like sacral chakra and solar plexus as well, actually, to have that drive, that will, that energy to, you know, go out there and do things and be creative, etc. And anything that sort of pushes you outwards. So this is going to be absolutely beautiful, and I'm just so incredibly thrilled with these beautiful gifts and just so honoured and bowled away by the generosity. I pretty much shed a tear. Happiness and joy and feelings of like, you know, just love and warmth, and it was just so beautiful and so kind and thoughtful. And Manuela really is just such a beautiful person, and I really recommend that you go over and take a look at her channel. And I also would like to do some kind of update as to how I get on with the Kele Day resources and materials, as well as the rosaries, because I've not really worked with rosaries too much because I came from a Church of England and then a Baptist church background rather than a Catholic background. So this is going to be such a beautiful kind of learning experience for me, and I'm just thrilled about it. I was just thinking about an idea that I might like to share as a video. So I just want to sort of suggest it to see if anyone's actually interested in this kind of thing, but along the lines of you following your own path, but because of the amazing access we have to the internet and to, you know, this community that we have, you know, many of us chat behind the scenes, and you know, many people are really close friends and meet up, and it's just so lovely. But at the same time, we are very influenced by each other. And then there's that idea that, well, I feel that at this time of year, there's certain things that I want to be doing. There's certain ways I want to be decorating, and certain decks I want to be working with, and certain practices I want to be incorporating into my witchcraft practice. And I'm just not doing that this year because we've just moved house. So my priorities are completely different, even though my head is like, oh, you know, I need to make sure that ancestor altar is back up and running before Samhain, you know, and that is really important to me. And I'm really hoping I still will do that. I noticed that I had all of these things listed sort of in my head as things that I needed to get done. And then I thought, that's just not going to be possible for me. But then it got me thinking along the lines of how much we are kind of not pushed off track, but how much we kind of allow ourselves to be led off track. And I think some people are probably more prone to this. I think I'm very prone to this when I see people that I enjoy watching on YouTube, for instance, or see posts on Instagram and I'm intrigued by things. I get sort of, you know, really interested in that, and I kind of not forget about what I'm trying to deal with, but I then feel so overwhelmed by all the amount of things that I want to work with or work on or achieve or learn or develop in, and then the list just gets so big and overwhelming and becomes like a little bit of a mind muddle. I wanted to say something else, maybe you can figure out what that was, but I just don't want to swear on him. Yeah, I just think it is like an interesting kind of thought, and maybe it's more not about other people, it's more about me. So it's not like me saying everyone else does this, it's kind of me just sort of owning up and saying I do this, you know, and I feel like I follow the thread where other people are, when actually, you know, I need to just be okay with being where I am and doing what I can do right now and being comfortable with that. And it goes hand in hand as well with allowing myself to have a break and a rest, because I was feeling so burnt out with the burden of feeling like I had to unpack everything and be sorted and organized, and also get everything out for selling. I want to do these hashtags, I want to work with certain decks, I can't get to them right now. And it's just kind of frustrating. And I know it's such a first world problem, it's really not on the scale of problems, and I'm so happy that we are in, and I love the house and feel so blessed to be here. And it's so lovely moving into a new build, because we've never moved into a new build and we just didn't have to do anything to it. We didn't have to clean or anything, so just moved in. But with the kids, you know, I think that was a really smart move, because the amount of stress that just moving with the kids stuff was just incredible. Like, it was never as stressful as this to move in the past. And this is the third house that we've bought. This is the first time we've ever moved with children, and it was definitely a lot more stressful. I just wanted to sort of suggest the idea and see if anyone had any thoughts on it, and if it was something that people wanted to kind of think about or talk about, then that would be fun to do. Or not fun, but interesting to do, maybe. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I know it's been a little bit all over the place, but thank you so much, it means the world to me. And I really hope to be returning to somewhat of a normal schedule soon. But if you did enjoy the video and the updates, etc., then please do think about liking the video, and if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell notification to be notified when I create and upload videos like this, and some more sort of normal content coming from me again soon. So with all that said, thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you stay well and safe, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video really soon. Take care. Bye.